Pirates host the FDU Knights on what is a hot spring day. I'm Christian Oliveri, joined alongside our analyst Ross Vacatoro. And Ross, speaking of players on hot streaks for the Pirates, Katie Brennan, Big East Player of the Week, and one of few Pirates to start in every game this season.
Katie Brennan had been having a great season, and then just this past week decided to just start playing out of her mind. She's currently on a 6-game multi-hit streak, some of those games in which totaling 3 hits. And when we spoke to Coach Churchill prior to the game, she kind of sung the praises of her junior outfielder and the consistency you talk about, Christian, being in the lineup night in, night out, along with the center fielder Angelina Benitez, and just the trust and reliability that the coach has in them to deliver night in, night out.
And a key player on FDU's side, senior first baseman Aiden Stone, named to the NEC Prime Performers list, leading her team in home runs and RBIs as well.
Hit .421, 2 homers, 9 RBIs in the past week. And, you know, talking about as good of a power source as Stone has been for this Knights lineup throughout the year, the fact that she doubles her homer total in just 1 week alone kind of speaks to the hot streak she's been on herself, and she's looking to continue that today.
Without a doubt, Ross. Doubleheader action. Who takes Game 1? Pirates, Knights, here on the Pirate Sports Network.
Great drive fuels the leaders of tomorrow and today. Great vision paves the way for a brighter future. Great ambition goes places, moving onward and upward. Great empathy finds strength in kindness and in each other, working together to create something bigger than they ever imagined. Great minds can change the world, and great minds start at Seton Hall.
Adulting? Overrated. Financial freedom? Now that's the move. Meet Alumnify, banking built for real life. No jargon, no hassle, just smart money moves made simple. Want to save more, spend smarter, build wealth? We've got your back. With 0 hidden fees and game-changing savings rates, this is banking that fits your life. Alumnify. Let's go.
Kozlovsky, Mr. Kozlovsky. Sanchez, Miss Sanchez. Parati, Mr. Parati. Mr. Parati.
RWJ Barnabas Health and Seton Hall University Athletics are proud to partner together as we bring better health to all the communities we serve. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Great drive fuels the leaders of tomorrow and today. Great vision paves the way for a brighter future. Great ambition goes places, moving onward and upward. Great empathy finds strength in kindness and in each other, working together to create something bigger than they ever imagined. Great minds can change the world, and great minds start at Seton Hall.
Adulting? Overrated. Financial freedom? Now that's the move. Meet Alumnify, banking built for real life. No jargon, no hassle, just smart money moves made simple. Want to save more, spend smarter, build wealth? We've got your back. With 0 hidden fees and game-changing savings rates, this is banking that fits your life. Alumnify. Let's go.
Welcome back into South Orange here on the Pirate Sports Network as Game 1 of this doubleheader series is almost underway between the Seton Hall Pirates and the FDU Knights. Once again, I'm Christian Oliveri, joined alongside our analyst Ross Vacatoro. And Ross, history. If the Pirates take this game, or one of these games, that's their 1,000th win in program history.
Yeah, that's kind of fascinating to think. I mean, with some of our prior broadcasts, we've seen them kind of, pay homage to teams of Seton Hall softball past, and to kind of see now on the cusp of that a 1,000th win. I mean, kind of the milestone of all milestones, and for Coach Angie Churchill, kind of the turnaround that's happened with this program under her watch, that would kind of be fulfilling, you got to think.
And talking about history as well, Angelina Benitez is a player that we mentioned in that open that's kind of that 2-hitter, or second top performing player to Brennan, right? She is about a few hits away from breaking the single season hitting streak record for Seton Hall. What do you make of her performance this season?
I think it's just kind of par for the course for her game. She's the epitome of that contact, put bat on ball type of hitter. Yeah, and that just is kind of.
Now, looking, Ross, you're good. You're no worries, man. Looking ahead to today's game, you look at FDU's lineup. Leading off for the Knights is Madison Rochelle out in center field. Behind her is Brianna Holgan. In the 3-hole, Aiden Stone, followed by Amanda Jupinka, Michaela Conklin, Kaylee O'Sullivan on the hot corner, and closing things out for the Knights, so Sophia Spataco, Sophia Ayala, and Zoe Valdez. And looking into the circle for Seton Hall is Rachel Schumann, the sophomore from Downingtown, PA.
Yeah, the 6.65 ERA on the surface doesn't look great. She has been a little more consistent in some of her more recent outings, so Pirates looking to get a little bit of a, find some footing with Schumann in the circle. When we spoke to Coach Churchill, she said be on the lookout for all 4 Seton Hall pitchers to be used today.
Yeah, it is a hot day out, and you don't want to, let's put it this way. You don't want your pitcher to go as far in such a hot day. You want to mix it up and get these pitchers warmed for the series against DePaul coming ahead.
Hot is an understatement, Christian. It'd be a miracle if I'll tell you this. If I were in the circle, I don't know if I'd get through an inning. So it'll be remarkable to see how the 4 arms and the Pirate staff kind of play out today's doubleheader.
For sure, it is probably a lot hotter down there on that turf field than it is up here in the booth. And again, leading off for FDU, Madison Rochelle, the sophomore outfielder. Schumann deals. A little bit of a slap motion there by Rochelle. Fouls it off back behind the plate.
Kind of hand in hand with we were talking about with Benitez for this Pirates lineup, leads the team in average. Kind of par for the course as the leadoff hitter for the Knights.
Rochelle calls time. Schumann kind of taking her time there in the circle, seeming to throw Rochelle off just a little bit. Stepping out of the box and stepping now back in. As she tries to bunt one, she bunts it foul. Count now 0-2.
See, what's strange about Rochelle's swing, at least obviously they're showing bunt to bring this to an 0-2 count, but even on the first pitch, you saw the bona fide swing, and she was still kind of going for that running start, kind of unorthodox.
Yeah, a little slapping motion softball players use, and she does it again, and fouls it just by Christina Janex's glove. Almost making a diving play there was Janex.
Yeah, I don't even think she needed to dive in that. I think she just flat out missed it.
I mean, hey, it was a good effort on the play there. Just couldn't get it to the glove. Again, it's called the hot corner for a reason. Infield's in now for the Pirates as the 0-2. Fouled left again. Rochelle battling now. It's sitting at 4 pitches already, or 5 pitches, in this at-bat. The 0-2 for Rochelle. It's high and outside, 1-2.
That lunge is crazy. Like, she didn't even swing on that pitch, and she's still running towards the circle.
Well, no, yeah, that's the point of what a slapping motion is you really just kind of run up to the ball, and again, like you can either show bunt or you can go for a hit. It's very effective for a lot of lefties in softball. You know, it kind of serves as that when you have those leadoff players, those speedsters on the base path, that's kind of what they do. 2-2 now for Rochelle. She slaps one high and foul, trying to make a play on Isjan next, but it will hit the top of the dugout.
She's been very opposite field prone the entirety of this at-bat.
Yeah, trying to get it over the infield's head. The 2-2. And finally grounding it over to DeMarco, who will make the scoop and the tag at first for the first out of the inning. Long awaited there after an 8-pitch battle between Schumann and Rochelle.
Yeah, and you kind of saw the Pirates infield gradually pick up on how that at-bat was going to go, and to get that clean out there, game plan, you know, this ball's not getting past the infield, and the Pirates did just that.
Stepping into the box now is Brianna Holgan. First pitch to her is in there for a strike.
Schumann's most recent appearance came on the 10th out in Villanova, pitched a 1-2-3 inning with a strikeout.
Second pitch to Holgan. She swings one and drives one into left field for a base knock. Brianna Holgan getting onto the base path first for the Knights.
In Schumann's most recent start, she went 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 walks, no earned runs. Got the win.
Stepping in for the Knights now is Aiden Stone, one of the senior leaders for the Knights. As we talked about in the open. First pitch to her is outside for ball 1.
Yeah, Christian, and we touched on most recently the series she had against Mercyhurst, the 2 home runs, 9 RBIs.
Stone sits on that one on the outside corner, called strike. Count is even at 1 apiece. Stone this season batting .323. And she pops one up into right field. Making a play on it is Olivia Chavez, getting some time today. And her and Martinez kind of almost had a miscommunication right there. But Chavez gets the second out of the inning.
No harm, no foul. Chavez makes the easy grab. You brought up too, Christian. Chavez kind of a newcomer to the starting lineup. And when we spoke to Coach Churchill prior to the game, she was talking about, you know, on the same note of Benitez and Brennan, how reliable they've been in that 1-2 punch. The rest of the lineup, there's kind of been a lot to work with, trying new people out in certain spots, and Chavez is one of them out in right field today.
The freshman from Romana High School. The 0-1 now to Japinka. He's out there for a ball.
Japinka, one of 2 freshmen in the lineup today, comes in with a .288 average.
The 1-1 swung on and lifted high and foul. Schumann now ahead in the count once again. Schumann delivering the 1-2. Outside and trying to steal is Holgan, and she is in there. A stolen bag for Brianna Holgan, putting a runner in scoring position for the freshman Japinka.
And I don't even think Holgan got the best of jumps there going to second. I think more so that pitch was so borderline. These are the days you yearn for ABS to kind of hit all levels of both base and softball. That pitch was borderline, and I think Howard was looking for the call. And before she knew it, Holgan was taken off for second.
Holgan just getting in there. 2-2 now for Japinka. Japinka with 10 RBIs on the season. 2-2 to her. Checks her swing. Her ball outside. Counts full.
Another pitch that just misses that outside corner. Schumann looking to get the strikeout via the backwards K as we see the stolen base here. Holgan makes it to second pretty much with ease.
A little bit late on the tag there was Perez. Calling time is Schumann now. trying to get things right with Howard behind the dish.
Holgid's 4th stolen base of the season.
Full count now for Japinka. This breaking ball is in the turf for ball 4. Runners on first and second now for the sophomore Michaela Conklin, batting .327 on the year for the Knights with 8 RBIs.
If you're Schumann, you just want to limit the damage, right? Obviously, goes without saying, you don't want to put the runners on in the first place, but you already have 2 away. Get this out here with Conklin at the dish and move past it, no harm, no foul.
First pitch to the lefty is inside, strike 1.
To your point, Christian, about these 2-strike counts, it all starts with getting that first pitch, making it a pitcher's count, and Schumann's done a good job of that so far.
The 1 to Conklin. Grounds one over to DeMarco, who makes the play with ease, drawing the 3rd out of the inning. And the Pirates will get a chance to answer early here on the Pirate Sports Network. Welcome back here into South Orange. A 3-out inning for the Knights brings up the Pirates to bat, and looking at their lineup, leading off Angelina Benitez, followed by her is Katie Brennan, Sophia DeMarco, and in the 4-hole, Naya Martinez, Aaron Howard, Leah Kaczynski, Andrea Perez, Christina Janex, and the freshman Olivia Chavez closing things out for this lineup today. Ross, what do you make of this lineup? Again, we talked about Chavez entering later in the lineup, but looking ahead, what do you see from this lineup today?
I think it's the fact that Coach Churchill and company have options to work with, right? Like you look at somebody like Christina Janex, who may be hitting 8th like she is today. One day she may be in the 9-hole tomorrow, and she could be as high as kind of that 6, even that 5 spot sometimes. It really, you have options to work with after that 1, 2, even 3-hole. Kind of got to assume DeMarco's a shoe-in for the 3-hole for the remainder of the season. But after that, Coach Churchill has a lot of options as to how she wants to construct the lineup.
And in the circle for FDU, Sierra Albright, the freshman pitcher.
Albright went 2 innings, gave up 2 hits allowed, 1 walk, no runs in her last appearance in the series at Mercyhurst.
Benitez just bobbling one over to O'Sullivan, who makes the play for the first out.
Number 5, Katie Brennan.
Stepping into the box now, big-time hitter for the Pirates, number 5, Katie Brennan, the left fielder. Again, as we mentioned prior, Big East Player of the Week. And in the Big East, she's tied first in doubles.
Goes along with the 588 slug she brings into the day, 500 on base, 386 average.
She fouls one back. Now the count even 1-1.
For the Knights, Sierra Albright, her last start did not go as she wanted. 5 innings of work, 11 hits, 12 runs, 9 of them earned, 3 punch-outs.
The 1-1 way outside for ball 2.
That being back on the 1st of April against West Point. And we see so far here kind of similar to what we saw from Schumann in the top half of the inning. Looks to be favoring that outside part of the zone.
Brennan fouls it back. Count now 2 apiece. Yeah, you talked about Albright using that outside part of the plate, trying to get Brennan to chase. She delivers the 2-2 and a swing and a miss right by Brennan for out number 2.
I think Brennan just got ahead of herself there. She knows, obviously, looks at the box score, knows the streak and the strides her season's kind of taken this past week and a half, rightfully so, with the Big East Player of the Week we brought up, and I think she just kind of got ahead of herself on that swing.
Sophia DeMarco, she lifts one high out into right field, and making the play on it in foul territory was Spataco. The diving play, unable to find her glove. First pitch is fouled off. Count 0-1. It was a quick early swing by DeMarco.
It's an eventful almost out there. So Spataco with the diving effort like you brought up, just short of it. And I like the aggressiveness from DeMarco. Leads the team in homers with 6.
And she fouls one back there. You could tell she kind of wants a big-time hit here. Swinging early.
Looking for that tone setter, lifting the ball opposite way. We saw that a lot from FDU as well. DeMarco no different here through 2 pitches in this one.
The 0-2 to DeMarco. Swung on, lifted high in the air. Making a play on it is Valdez. Excuse me. And it just drops right out of her glove.
I think she might have lost that one in the sun. Looked like a fairly routine play. You also got to assume, too, maybe she didn't know how much room she had to work with the net.
The 0-2 again. DeMarco getting another chance. Grounds it out over to O'Sullivan, who can't make the play. And Sophia DeMarco reaching first. A runner on now for the Pirates.
See if we can get a replay on that one. It's weird because it didn't really look like it, one-hopped on or anything. Looks like it just kind of got under O'Sullivan's
Yeah, it got
glove.
right under Sullivan's glove, and with that, DeMarco will reach on an error. First pitch now for Martinez is high and outside for ball 1.
267 average going into today for the sophomore second baseman.
Second pitch up high for ball 2. The 2-0. Martinez sits back on it for ball 3. Green light now for Martinez. He steps back into the box. DeMarco on first. She waits. Ball 4. Walk drawn there by Martinez. Run on first and second now for Erin Howard.
Yeah, that pitch looked borderline, got to be honest, but Martinez won't complain. 4 pitches, gets her on base.
Erin Howard, the senior for the Pirates, batting .273 on the year, 13 RBIs. Trying to put the Pirates ahead early. The 1-0. Albright delivers. But an off speed there just on the outside corner, called strike.
Both Pirates on base in motion there. Kind of hesitated, not sure if Valdez was able to secure that ball, but both Pirates stay put.
The 2-0 swung on, lifted high, and out into center field. Making a play on it is Rochelle, and she will make the grab. No runs, 2 runners on for the Pirates as we head to the top of the second here on the Pirate Sports Network. 0-0 in the top of the second as FDU gets another chance to try to put some runs up on the board. And both pitchers doing their thing in the circle so far, Ross.
Yeah, we saw a little bit more with Albright, a little bit of a control issue. He obviously had the 4-pitch walk to Martinez, missed high, missed in, missed out a little bit as well. For Schumann, it felt like her misses, albeit outside, felt a little more closer to the plate. I think you got to kind of keep that aggression going, keep attacking the plate. We see here with O'Sullivan showing bunt.
O'Sullivan, the sophomore, she takes a ball inside. The sophomore from Plainfield, Illinois, last year batted .356, .527 slugging, and a .416 on-base percentage. Second pitch to her is in there for a strike.
Not as good of a year this year so far for the sophomore third baseman, batting .182 going into today, 8 RBIs, slugging .250.
Sullivan showing bunt again. Pitch is in there for a strike. Schumann doing her thing so far, getting ahead in these counts. Trying to close the door here. The 1-2 lifted high in foul territory, trying to chase it is Janex and Howard, but they can't make the play as the ball will land right in the stands. No fans right there to make a grab.
It's weird, too, because I think we brought this up last time. We were actually on a baseball call, Christian, but here at softball, I believe they have to give the softballs back.
Yeah, they
So
definitely do. I mean, softball's a lot different. The 1-2 outside. Yeah, I'm sure softball's a lot different. I'm sure they don't have as many as baseball does.
Right.
The 2-2 now from Schumann. Lifted high again and back in foul territory, right in that same spot in the stands. Second pitch fouled off now by O'Sullivan.
It's like there's a bullseye here in the in the stands and the bleachers.
Not a lot of fans out in the stands today. I'm sure they're very hot as well. Some may have forgotten their sunscreen. Sullivan still showing bunt on the 2-2. She swings one and lifts it right to Perez's glove for the first out of the inning.
You know, it was weird about that show bunt from O'Sullivan. It didn't really look like she was pinching the bat in a bunt manner. It just kind of looked like she was lunging the bat forward, pulled it back because every pitch of the at-bat there wasn't necessarily an actual bunt attempt.
Yeah.
And then wound up with the pop out there to Perez.
Again, maybe trying to throw Schumann's rhythm off, but Spataco now stepping in. She takes the first pitch outside for strike one. Just right outside on that corner. Little off-speed breaking ball there, way high and outside.
Schumann likes to throw that breaking ball a lot. You could kind of see it's weird. It feels like it slows down, you know, in midair. It almost looks like that pitch is in slow motion, and it's effective too if she can locate it. But you saw there she missed high. Previous inning, missed low with it a couple times as well.
Schumann getting that strike on the outside corner right there. Count is 1-2 again. Way inside for ball two.
Spataco went 2 for 5 in the night's previous series at Mercyhurst.
2-2. Just off the end of the bat, right into Sophia DeMarco's glove for the second out of the inning.
Crazy Spataco was able to get a piece of that pitch way outside the zone and just got the tip of the bat. And then, like you said, Christian, right to DeMarco, tic-tac-toe for the easy grab for two-way here.
Sophia Ayala, the right fielder, now getting her first pitch. It's in there for strike one. Yeah, and you see a lot of that, I feel like, so far, Ross. A lot of these batters not making the greatest contact with these pitches so far. The 0-1. Outside.
Yeah, I mean, both outs this inning, soft contact lineouts, I guess. Yeah, definitely the one of Perez. Actually, both of these were lineouts. We even saw in the first inning the out that wasn't to Janex, another soft contact lineout.
Ayala fouls one back. Schumann doing a great job of getting into these 1-2 counts. Her defense being able to back her up and finish things off. Hoping she could do that again here. And Schumann lines one out right into Brennan's glove for the third out of the inning. As no runs, no hits for the Knights as we head to the bottom of the second here on the Pirate Sports Network. The Pirates' chance to try and get something on the board here in the bottom of the second. Both pitchers so far in the circle for the Pirates and Knights doing their thing so far. Defense being able to back it up. Only one hit in just this early part of the game, Ross.
Yeah, Schumann's been very effective. As on the note of us talking about the two soft contact outs, you saw Elia.
Kaczynski just lifting one. You talked about soft contact right there,
Yeah.
Ross. Kaczynski off the end of the bat, off in the first pitch there, right into Aiden Stone's glove. A common theme we've seen so far between Seton Hall and FDU at the plate.
Yeah, it was right on cue there with Kaczynski. But now going back to the top of the inning, I mean, the first two outs were essentially soft contact lineouts. You saw Elia get a little bit more velo on the, off her swing, but it was right to Brennan. And then right there with Kaczynski, pretty much one and the same to get the inning going for the Pirates. But I think the Pirates have kind of worked their at-bats better to this point of the two.
2-0 for Andrea Perez. That pitch is outside for ball 3.
Hitting .327 on the year, 19 RBIs, slugging .473. 2 long balls as well for the senior shortstop.
The 3-0. High and outside for ball 4. She draws a walk.
That's Albright's second 4-pitch walk to this point. She's kind of managed the fact that pretty much all the runners she's put on have been via the base on balls, but the fact that it seems like she's missing high more than anything else. So if you're Albright in the Knights, you kind of want to shore that up.
Third baseman, Christina Janex now. Takes a ball outside in the first pitch. The 1-0. Breaking ball in there for a strike.
Janex has been an impact player in her freshman season for this team. And even when we were talking about the lineup construction for Angie Churchill, Janex has been one of the biggest X factors.
That pitch is outside and low.
And I think when she got going out the gates, the impact she made right away, I mean, she had a couple multi-hit games right out the gates. She had the grand slam in that one game against West Georgia.
It's hers low.
And then her stats kind of seemed to dip down a little bit, but even when the results weren't there from her at the plate, she was still a plus defender and somebody you could count on.
Janex rips one right off of O'Sullivan's glove, advancing Perez to second.
Somebody you could count on a day-to-day basis. And on that note, now the second, I'm not sure if that one was an error, definitely the misplay in the first inning that went right underneath O'Sullivan's glove, and then a much tougher play there on the diving attempt, but misses it. Janex at first. You got 2 runners on here. Great opportunity for the Pirates to break this scoreless tie.
And a little conversation in there in the circle for the Knights. And as you kind of talked about, a little bit of confusion how that would be scored, Ross. That was a single right to the left side of the infield for Janex. And that gives a great opportunity now for Olivia Chavez, the freshman, to to put her name out there now. Maybe draw in some runs here for the Pirates.
Yeah, numbers aren't the best to this point, but like we've brought up, Christian, it's a very small sample size, and she's made an impact with the glove, kind of similar to what I was saying with Chinex. If all the hitting's not there, as long as you're contributing one way or another, Chavez has done it so far since Coach Churchill's put her in the lineup, and now would be a great time to get those numbers going, get this score going for Seton Hall today.
The first pitch of Chavez is outside, or just on the outside corner. Strike one. Great frame job there by Valdez. The 0-1 to Chavez. She lifts one high into right field, and trying to track it is Stone, and she's unable to get there.
Like Stone and Spataco were in a racing match there to see who could get to it, neither wound up doing so. A lot of fly balls have gone in that deep right field foul territory so far.
0-2 for Chavez, and a swing and a miss on the outside pitch for the first out. And that is around the horn for the Pirates, and back up to hit is Angelina Benitez.
Yeah, I think we just saw Chavez kind of pressing there. It was just not really a hittable pitch outside corner of the zone. I guess if there's a silver lining, if she does make contact with it, it's probably a grounder right to Holgan at second. Put FDU in a good position for the double play, but you don't want to see that element of pressing from this lineup, or either lineup.
Benitez's first bat, she grounded out to third. She fouls one back. Count notched up at 1 apiece for Benitez. The 1-1. Right in the turf for ball 2.
That slow roller that just kind of approaches up on the plate, and we've been talking about Albright missing high on these pitches that she's missing, and the now 2 4-pitch walks she's had to this point.
One dribbled over to Brianna Holgan, who makes the play for the third out of the inning, and that'll send things into the top of the third here in South Orange on the Pirate Sports Network. Two runners on last time for the Pirates in that bottom of the second. Here we are now in the top of the third. Score still 0-0. Who is going to get on the board first, Ross? Now FDU Knights now back up. Stepping into the box is catcher Zoe Valdez. Rachel Schumann has done her job so far for the Pirates and is right by Valdez for strike one.
There's a clean whiff to get things going for Schumann. Handful of runners left on base for both squads. To your point, though, Christian, Schumann at least riding off the 1-2-3 inning. Looking to continue that momentum here in the third.
Valdez lifts one foul.
I thought we just had a primal example of that announcer's jinx right there. I thought as soon as I said this is going to stay fair, but it does line foul.
It's always funny when you have that little announcer's jinx, isn't it? But 0-2 now for Valdez. Schumann gets a sign as she deals. It's outside for ball one. A lot of 1-2 counts Schumann has been in so far in this game.
And I think the benefit to that is, especially when you get out 0-2, you can have a throwaway pitch like that. Even on a 1-2, you can kind of afford yourself a throwaway pitch kind of similar to that one, and it gives you room for error that you don't want to use. Don't get me wrong, you don't want to have to use that room for error, but it's good to have it in your back pocket where you're not pressing on both sides of the ball.
Valdez lifts one high and foul. And I was going to say Schumann, that last pitch had that little bit of a drop ball. It almost looked like a strike on that outside corner, but I'm calling it a ball. The 2-2 waits Valdez. She fouls one off. A lot of foul balls today.
We had two that landed in that exact same row. One of them just hit the top of our booth up here.
The 2-2.
See, I thought she nicked the plate there as well.
Almost. Another little off speed by Schumann. Sets the count full. Good eye there by Valdez. The 3-2. It's way inside for ball 4, and Valdez now drawing the walk.
What's so deceptive about that breaking pitch from Schumann is that, at least from back here, it kind of just looks like a teardrop meatball. But it's that spin that it has to it that you see a lot of hitters lay off on it because, you can't really assume how much lift and, velo you're going to get off a pitch like that. Like the spin seems to throw a lot of hitters off, and that's kind of been Schumann's claim to fame with it.
Leadoff hitter Madison Rochelle makes her way back up. She fouls one back. Last time grounding out over to Sophia DeMarco.
You tend to see a lot of times too Kaya Krusher, who we will definitely see later today, may potentially see later in this game. She has a similar pitch that.
The 0-1 to Rochelle, grounded over to Martinez, who flips it over to flips it over to Perez for that first out, unable to turn two there.
Krusher kind of has a similar pitch that, right away doesn't look like the most effective of pitches, but you tend to, as a game goes along, you see a lot of hitters lay off of it and don't really know how to read it coming out of the circle as just real quick two on that ground ball. I think he could have gotten a smoother transition, at least the transfer on the throw from Perez, but not forcing your hand there and at least getting the one easy out was the Pirates' move there.
Brianna Holgan taking that first pitch for a strike. Showing bunt again, fouling one back. 0-2 for Holgan. The 0-2 from Schumann. Right on the outside corner. Has Holgan looking for strike number 3.
Yeah, Schumann freezes Holgan there. Finally got one of those calls. Kind of had been playing with fire on the outside part of that zone. Finally gets a call from the umpire. And, talking about with Holgan, the lone hit of the day so far for the Knights to get her on the backwards K and get that much-needed second out. Keep your rhythm going. And the circle for Schumann was a necessity.
Aiden Stone now back up. In her last at-bat, flew out to Olivia Chavez. Rochelle on first base, Stone awaiting the 1-1. She fouls one back. Another 1-2 count for Rachel Schumann.
You saw Rochelle take off for second there. Wonder if they're going with a hit and run approach.
The 1-2. Almost in that same location on the outside corner, called a ball. Stone now with the 2-2. Pitch from Schumann. Swung on. Stone lifting one high and right off the wall. And turning around that hot corner is Rochelle, and she is in for a run, an RBI double from Aiden Stone, putting the Knights ahead.
her team leading 9th two-bagger of the season. Gets her 27th, also team leading RBI on the season. And it's kind of what we talked about pregame, Christian. She's just bringing this momentum that she had this past series and week. I think we're actually getting a signal here from the FDU coaching staff. I wonder if they think this one's a home run.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see real quick because I looked over and the foul pole, that little pole right here in front of us, was kind of in the way where I could see the ball. You could get a replay on that.
I don't know how it would stay in the park and be ruled a homer because there's nothing really behind that fence, or the netting at least.
I mean, that fence is pretty high, so if it's able to stay in there, I don't see why it would.
I think their coach is arguing that it hit the top of the fence.
We'll see the replay here.
But it never cleared it.
We'll check the replay on this hit. She lifts one there.
See, because the wall is too high where you can't even argue, like, had Brennan interfered with it, potentially trying to rob it. This wall is sky high. So wherever it's hitting, the fact that it came back, I don't know what it would hit behind that fence and yet, be ruled a homer. But it stays a double, RBI double.
I guess they were trying to argue to see if it hit that foul pole and stayed fair.
I think a lot of times you see in like ballparks, whatever level, sometimes there may be like a railing or like a ledge right behind the wall, so it's a close play. And there's like that line that dictates if it hits this, it's gone. If it doesn't, it's not. But you don't really have that back there.
2-0 now for Japinka. Lifts one right next to us, actually, in foul territory. He could have bounced off the stands and right through the window, Ross.
And leaped up a couple rows as well. Landed like the third row, came all the way up to our booth pretty much.
The 2-1. And just low for ball 3. Good eye there by Japinka. Runner on second for Japinka. The 3-1 count awaits her. And a breaking ball there right back at Schumann, who picks up the ball and makes the play. One hit, one run for the Knights, as they now lead 1-0 heading into the bottom of the third here on the Pirate Sports Network. One nothing is the score here in the bottom of the third as Aiden Stone drove in Madison Rochelle in that top half of the inning. Seton Hall trying to answer back as Katie Brennan will step into the box. And Ross, again, we had a little bit of a controversy on Stone's hit to see if it bounced off the foul pole. And again, Pirates trying to answer back. What would you say if you were a coach is the approach now?
I'd say you need one to win a game regardless, so at least get that one run, get this back to a 1-1 tie. Look, you look at Schumann to the point going into the third inning was flawless. We talked about, that second inning, the 3 soft contact outs and how she was working the zone to that point. I think just leadoff walks are killer, no less to the fact that you walk the 9-hitter. and then she comes around to score on that controversial play like you brought up, Christian. But you need one to win the game either way, so get one to at least tie it, get yourself back in this game, because we've seen some, games for better and worse with this Pirates team throughout the season that get out of hand quickly. Sometimes it's them, sometimes they're on the receiving end of it, receiving end of those games. A 1-0 score is the furthest thing from that.
The 2-0 to Brennan, just on the outside corner for strike one. Brennan, her last at bat, struck out. She swings one and right over Holgan's head for a single. Katie Brennan now on the base path.
Keeps that hitting streak alive. The multi-hit streak still yet to be determined, but keeps that hitting streak going for the time being, and a much-needed leadoff runner on. Kind of stay hand in hand with the game they play with you. They get their leadoff runner on, you do the same here in the bottom half of the inning.
Yeah, a lot more patience there from her in that at-bat. As you saw in her first at-bat, she swung those first two pitches. Sophia DeMarco now stepping in and fouling one back. Second pitch to her is way high.
So it's now an 8-game hitting streak for Katie Brennan. And like we brought up in the open too, Christian, I mean, that's what her and Benitez, the leadoff hitter.
DeMarco lifting one into the outfield and right off of the fence. And turning second is Brennan, and she'll stand up right into third. A stand-up double for Sophia DeMarco now, putting both runners in scoring position for Naya Martinez.
Throw DeMarco right into that mix as well. This 1-2-3 for the Pirates lineup has been nothing short of insanely reliable. You have the bat-to-ball consistency from Benitez and Brennan. I feel like you get a little more pop out of Brennan, but Benitez gets on base way more. And then DeMarco, if those two ever get on base, the fact that you have DeMarco, the main power source in this lineup, and that's why Churchill really hasn't touched that 1-3 all season.
A powerful 1-3 for this Pirates lineup. And a great contact hitter in Martinez to follow. She steps in. She fouls one back.
That one almost came to the bleachers, too.
So maybe they want us to have a souvenir, Ross. Who knows?
Keeping us on our toes. Martinez walked in her first plate appearance.
She has 19 RBIs on the season. The 1-1 to her. She swings one and lifts one high in the air, and Holgan making the play on it for out number one.
Now back for the Pirates, number 20, Erin Howard.
Erin Howard making her way back out there. Last time out, she flew out to center field. Albright delivers the first pitch. It's in there for a strike.
14 RBIs for the veteran catcher. And you can afford that first out. Is it ideal? No, but you can afford it. But you really don't want to get to multiple outs with the two runners in scoring position when they got on with nobody out.
That second pitch just on the inside corner from Albright.
You want to have the luxury of a productive out being able to be an RBI.
This ball's way high, won't count as 1-2. The 1-2. Lined right into the glove of Sofia Ayala for out number two.
And now you're kind of in trouble. I mean, 2 on, nobody away, and your 2 outs don't even leave the infield. I mean,
got to be able to capitalize off situations like this. Kaczynski now getting a chance to drive some runs in for the Pirates.
And Kaczynski may be Exhibit A, what we were talking about with the fluidity of this lineup. The grad student hadn't really been in the fold early on, and now has found herself as a mainstay in the 6th spot.
Kaczynski fouls one back. Another 0-2 count for Albright. The 0-2. Fouled back again by Kaczynski.
A lot of pop flies, pop lineouts and whatnot. Your approach has got to be well, now with the 2 outs, you can't really afford this either, but get under it if anything. Just get a ball to seep through the middle of the infield. You have that gaping gap through the middle.
The 0-2. And right through the left side of the infield, and an RBI, 2 RBI double for Leah Kaczynski, putting the Pirates ahead now 2-1.
RBIs number 11 and 12 for Kaczynski. Just hitting them where they ain't, finding that gap there on the left side of the infield. Kind of like I was saying, a slow roller's all you need, and it scores not 1 but 2 to take the Pirates from the 1-run deficit to now a 1-run lead here in the 3rd inning.
We talked about that, Ross. You got to be able to answer in those situations, and Kaczynski doing just so.
Even if you're not the tone setter, if you keep the game within reach and kind of just match the tone of the other squad, it can make this game kind of that back and forth,
And lining right into Ayala's glove again is Perez for the 3rd out, but 3 hits, 2 runs for the Pirates as we now head to the top of the 4th here on the Pirate Sports Network. An RBI double last inning, putting the Pirates ahead now 2-1 in the top half of the 4th. Ross, good patience there from Seton Hall at the plate.
Leah Kaczynski, I mean, we were talking about it too, how it took a little bit of time for her to make the impact that she has now made as of late for this Pirates lineup. And what better way than, kind of to our point as well, about staying in games, even if you do get down early, keeping the game within reach. Where a 2-run inning.
Conklin lifts one high. Making a play on it is Chavez, and she makes the grab for out number 1.
Where a 2-run inning could be the difference between a deficit and a lead, and that's exactly what the Pirates did. Not kind of getting overwhelmed by the fact that you're down, keep it within reach, and before you know it, now all of a sudden FDU is a team that's got to keep themselves from pressing and, taking 2 steps ahead.
You saw a lot of patience in those at-bats early. And a lot of time where they down 0-2. And a strike there from Schumann on that little off-speed breaking ball. Has some good movement on that pitch, is Schumann. It's the 0-1 now. O'Sullivan. It's just outside.
O'Sullivan, who popped out to short in her first at-bat.
Showing bunt again is O'Sullivan. She pulls the bat back, and she swings one right into the left center gap. And that one lands, and she's turning first, heading into the second, making the throw on it. Not in time, unable to make the tag, is Martinez, and a stand-up double for O'Sullivan.
It looked like there was potential for that play to be closer than it was, but like you said, Christian, stand-up double for O'Sullivan, and just like that, now all of a sudden FDU keeps their foot on the pedal, and all of a sudden now they're the ones challenging, albeit one away, but a runner in scoring position.
Spataco calling time. Pitch to Spataco. Spataco is lined into the outfield and right over Benitez's head. Rounding and being held up at third is Kaylee O'Sullivan. To my surprise, she wasn't sent there.
Yeah, that was drilled by Spataco, and I think Benitez was playing a little in for some reason, where, albeit a liner, you'd think maybe if she's more situated a little deeper in center field there, she's got a play on that fly ball, but sails over her head, and just like that, FDU is challenging themselves.
A conversation now with Schumann in the circle. Yeah, and we're always taught, right, that first step is back. It looked like Benitez kind of just waited there, stepped a little bit forward and misread the ball and right over her head, but a great throw in by her to hold O'Sullivan at third.
You have that open base. At first, we saw this exact situation pretty much with the Pirates in the bottom half of the third. The only difference was no outs for Seton Hall. Both times you have that open base. Do you think maybe, Christian, in the back of your mind, maybe put a runner on first, get the force at home?
Maybe. I mean, it's hard to tell. Ayala's first pitch is in there for strike.
I think it should always be a thought. I mean, especially where, ground balls can get a little wonky, and sometimes you try to make a play that's not there, and the ball, before you know it's sailing all over the infield. As long as you got a play at home. But it looks like it's not a thought for the Pirates, nor was it a thought for the Knights.
A 1-1 count for Ayala. She attempts to even up this score. Another breaking ball is down low for 2-1.
And even if you don't go the intentional walk route, at least you can also reason with the fact that you have that open base. You have somewhere to put Ayala, so you can kind of get more. You have more room to play around with in terms of the zone here, pitching inside now. So you do have somewhere to put Ayala if worst case scenario in Schumann's mind, you have to walk her. It's not like you're walking in a run.
Count was 2-2 for Ayala. And she lifts one right to Benitez, making the play, and tagging up is O'Sullivan, and the play at home is not made. The ball bouncing up out of Howard's glove, and there's a sacrifice fly for Sophia Ayala. Score now 2 apiece.
Productive out. FDU will take it 100 times out of 100, and even the Pirates, I mean, look, sometimes you have to take that out for a run trade. I don't know about necessarily in this spot where Schumann, for the most part, has looked solid. But at the end of the day, you reason with the fact that you did get a much-needed second out here. Still a runner 90 feet away you got to worry about if you're the Pirates.
First pitch to Valdez is in there for a ball. The 1-0 right down the middle, and the pickoff attempt there at third by Aaron Howard, not in time. The 1-1 to Valdez, and bounces right off the top of her helmet. And she'll make her way over to first. Runners on the corners now, as Rochelle makes her way back into the box.
That's now the second time the 9-hitter in Valdez gets on without a recorded at-bat. And it's hard to nitpick Schumann's outing so far with how consistent she's been for the most part. But if you had to, you don't want to, with all due respect to Valdez, but just naturally as a 9-hitter, it's not somebody you want to put on base, let alone via a walk and a hit by pitch.
Yeah, and it's kind of how you saw them score that last run earlier in the game. Excuse me, back in that top of the third. And Rochelle now getting hit by a pitch, and that loads up the bases. Yeah, team visit now.
It's a little strange, back-to-back at-bats, back-to-back pitches essentially.
Yeah, pitch just hitting her right on the calf. Bases juice now for Holgan. In her last at-bat, she struck out looking. First pitch to her is just on the inside corner for strike one.
Inside pitch. I was just about to say, too, you got to think maybe if there's something to them both being lefties, but now the first pitch to Holgan being inside as well.
Pitch is low, ball one.
Great job by Howard to secure that one. Definitely don't want to bring runners in via the wild pitch. That's the last thing you want to do.
Yeah, costly mistakes are something you definitely want to avoid. The 1-1 is high for ball two. As the course of this game goes on, we've seen from both teams a lot more patient at bats. The 2-1 to Holgan, and she swings and lifts one, and Brennan making the play on it and holds the Knights' attack to just one run. 2-2 now, heading into the bottom of the fourth. The Pirates looking to answer back. The Pirates avoiding a bit of a scare there in the top of the fourth. Score now just 2-2. And heading into the bottom of the fourth, we are with Christina Janex now up to bat in her last plate appearance. She reached first base on a hit, trying to get herself on base once more.
I hate to reiterate it, but it's kind of like we've been saying, Christian, this game, the trade-off of all these runs after the first two going scoreless, but it's within reach of both of these teams.
And Janex lifting one out into right field as Spataco makes the grab. A lot of first pitch swings so far in this game, Ross. You saw it early on in the first, a little bit in the second. The third, you saw a little bit more patience. And, I mean, do you stay patient throughout the rest of this? Or is it all about the hitter?
See, I think it depends on the situation. I think you got another first pitch swing there.
Another first pitch swing there from Chavez through the gap of short and third, and she gets on.
So right on cue there, Christian. And I think it's you got an out, you got a hit as well. But I think it depends on the situation. I think I'm all for with the bases open, even with the one out situation with Chavez. You know, keeping the pressure applied, not really getting complacent, maybe zoning out in some at-bats. But I think it's when you get a situation with a runner, multiple runners on bases, where you want to get more, you know, picky with the pitch you get. But I'm all for it early on in these at-bats, at least with nobody on, keeping that pressure applied and, you know, going out there and getting that tie-breaking run.
Benitez steps back in, the 1-1 now. Grounded out in both of her at-bats, and she dribbles one over and right off of the glove of O'Sullivan. And Benitez reaching first, advancing Chavez. A lot of plays have been Sullivan's way this game and unable to make those crucial plays for the Knights.
Yeah, that one was just a tough play, but it may be the most costly one at this point. So you had just the strange underneath the glove one in the first inning. This one was a tough play. But not only not making that grab, you don't get that second out, you also now have a second runner on. It's basically the equivalent of a drilled single up the middle with a play that right away seemed simple, but I think for O'Sullivan it was a far reach.
And the pitch fouled off there by Brennan.
All these soft line drives, too, is another trend, Christian,
Yeah.
I'm noticing. Whether they're being caught or not, in play, out of, or, you know, fair territory, foul territory, just a lot of these bloop liners that you see more than usual.
The 1-1. Dribbles it over to shortstop and making the play at second for the second out.
Yeah, Ayala.
Is Ayala.
Yeah, Ayala with the great grab there. Speaking of drilled liners, that one on the ground by Brennan, but Ayala doing a great job of securing it. Got the easy out at second. I think maybe hindsight, had they rushed that play a little bit more, but you always got to assume, you know, with rushing a play comes the potential of pass ball, error, and whatnot. So you take the easy second out. But great job by Ayala there, kind of different from the O'Sullivan play. That one was more drilled, kind of right to her, but great job securing it in the glove.
DeMarco now fouling one over the right side.
Be a great time for DeMarco to get that 7th homer this year, Christian.
It would be with runners on the corners. The 1-1 awaits her. She fouls one back again for strike 2. The 1-2 to DeMarco. She lifts one high and into left field. Making the play on it will be Conklin for the 3rd out at the bottom of the 4th. Knotted up 2 apiece. 2 runners on for the Pirates heading into the top of the 5th with this score evened up here on the Pirate Sports Network. Top of the 5th, 2-2 is a score. And now for the Pirates, stepping into the circle is Carissa Dupuis.
Dupuy's pretty much taken the mantle as the most consistent pitcher in this Pirates staff, and her season definitely started off on the wrong foot, but the consistency that the Pirates have gotten out of her as of late has kind of made her the de facto go-to arm. She had that complete game a couple weeks ago, as pretty much hasn't looked back since then. And in a tie ball game, you got to consider a high leverage situation. Who better to have in the circle?
And a little grounder from Stone there over to Martinez, who had to run up and make the play for the 1st out.
A slow roller there, Christian. We talk about the game of slow liners. That one on the ground for a change, but Martinez makes the play look easy.
Yeah, Dupuis wasn't able to reach it there, but Martinez able to back her up. Amanda Jupinka now facing Dupuis. You talk about Dupuis being one of the, maybe not so much ace, but the leaders of this rotation on the season of 5.16 ERA. She has a 6.6 win-loss record. She's thrown 5 complete games, and she is 4th in the Big East in opponent batting percentage. Opponents only hitting .247 against her.
The one worry with her sometimes could be the control. Seems to be a lot of the runners she puts on come via the walk. She finds herself in a 3-0 hole now, but a great job of limiting the contact, especially hard contact. I think that's kind of why we see the complete game number be as high as it is, because she's able to, get some of these 2-pitch, 3-pitch at-bats that don't necessarily take a toll on her pitch count, and there's a lot more leverage to work with if you're Coach Churchill and company.
Dupuis delivering the first strike there to Jupinka. 3-1 now from Dupuis. Right on that outside corner. Count is full.
Went a full 7 innings, only gave up 3 hits, no runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts.
And another foul ball there. Feels like it's been foul ball central this game, Ross.
Especially right field. It's crazy. We saw diving efforts. We saw miscommunications. Not many actual plays that came into fruition. In the hot corner out and right. Kind of to our point, Christian, 4 walks to the 3 strikeouts.
And right by Jupinka for out number 2. And the first strikeout for Dupuis on the day.
Just a great job by Dupuy there. Lower outside corner getting Japinka to chase. 2 up, 2 down.
Michaela Conklin steps back in. Flew out to Chavez, her last at-bat. She faces Dupuy now. First pitch to her. Bunt foul. The 0-1. Low and outside for ball 1.
I think now when we talk about, Christian, the value that comes with momentum, you get those first 2 outs, the second of which being via the punch out. That's got to be a big time morale boost for really the whole team, but especially Dupuy, because it starts and ends with Dupuy, and if you could get a 1-2-3 inning out of her in her first inning, that speaks dividends, especially too, like it all kind of circles back to at least today, Christian. This heat, I mean, it's brutal out here. And like when we spoke to Coach Churchill, she's going to make the rounds for this pitching staff. You got to be able to maximize the workload you get out of all 4 of those arms. Yeah. 4 innings was a great ask out of Schumann. If you want a significant amount out of Dupuy, at least to round out this game.
And the 3-1 is fouled off there by Conklin. Another full count for Dupuy.
Wonder if she goes with that low and outside again. It worked last at bat with Japinka.
3-2. And ball 4. Just a little bit on that outside corner. Just missed it a tad. So you could see this replay. Yeah, just a bit outside. Howard trying to do her part on the frame, but the umpire said not today.
That was pretty similar to the 3-2 pitch to Japinka.
Yeah.
Just didn't get Conklin a bite.
Sullivan once again kind of showing that fake bunt and pulling the bat back. Takes strike 1.
Can we even call that a fake bunt, Christian?
Yeah,
I mean, I've never seen. I've watched a lot of baseball, a lot of softball. I have never seen a bunt be held like that.
And she lines one foul right past Janex's glove. Yeah, I mean, you never really see a lot of players stand high on a bunt, and maybe, again, it's that way of trying to throw off the pitcher's rhythm, or maybe even location for that matter. But the 0-2 now for O'Sullivan. Is grounded over to Perez, who makes the backhanded play, and the throw not in time. Would have been an amazing play by Perez and a wonderful scoop by DeMarco. But runners now on first and second for Spataco.
Yeah, great effort by Perez there. I just don't think there was a play to be had in the first place. A backhanded scoop. I guess if there's a silver lining, keeping it in the infield, you keep Conklin rather at second, whereas she probably gets third. Don't think she's getting home if it trickles into the outfield, but
first pitch to Spataco is fouled off. Spataco in her last at bat had that double in the 4th. The 0-1 from Dupuy. Right by Spataco for strike 2. The 0-2. A little bit of a half swing there, fouled off.
yeah, that was a strange chase on the 0-2. Another outside chase. We've seen that a lot to this point. Just getting the tip of the bat, getting a piece of it. Another pitch lined to the right side in foul territory.
Spataco calling time. Dupuy waiting the signal. The 0-2 from Dupuis. And a foul tip.
I didn't hear the
I
tip.
didn't either. But it'll be...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, just a tad bit. A little bit of a piece there by Spataco. A few fans here are also in confusion. But once again, the 0-2 from Dupuis. That time you could tell it was fouled off.
That one she definitely got a piece of. No, but I think on the replay you could see the movement down.
Again, it's obviously hard to tell from up here. Another chance for Dupuis on this 0-2. Spataco dribbling it over to Janex, who makes the play, and DeMarco making the scoop for out number 3. 2 runners on for the Knights, but nothing going as the score stays evened up at 2 heading into the bottom of the 5th. Back in South Orange for the bottom of the 5th. Score still evened up at 2 apiece. Pitchers, again, Ross, doing their thing in the circle. Defense doing their job. And like we talked about, a lot of soft contact from the hitters.
Yeah, Dupuis was great. A little bit of a hiccup there with the 2 runners on the corners at the end of the day, but gets out of it unscathed. Meanwhile, for the Knights, Sierra Albright out for her 5th inning of work, albeit besides the 1 blemish in the 3rd inning has been great other than that. And she's looking to continue that on the Knights' behalf.
Yeah, Albright giving up 6 hits today, 2 earned runs, and 2 strikeouts. Second pitch to Martinez is up and away for ball 2. Martinez reached first on a walk in the 1st inning.
And like you brought up, Christian, we see these trends between like the inning prior. We saw the 2 quick first pitch at bats was actually with the Pirates, bottom of the 4th. You saw the first pitch out, first pitch hit. Right off the bat, 4 pitches, you already got a leadoff runner for the Pirates. Now it feels like they're kind of going that plate discipline approach. And it's worked out so far. 4 pitches down, you already got a leadoff runner.
And something I was going to mention last inning, Ross, was, you know, not a lot of the time do you see, you know, Seton Hall in those tied situations in the 4th, either 1 for 17 when trailing in the 4th, and pretty sure 23-5 when they are ahead. Aaron Howard getting a chance to try and answer for the Pirates.
6 straight balls here for Albright to kick off this inning. I don't know about you, Christian. If I'm the Pirates, I keep that bat on the shoulders until she throws a strike. Make me bite at one of your pitches.
Yeah, you talked about that patient approach now that the Pirates should try to go out with. This count is 2-1 for Howard. And she lines one foul.
Seems to be no motion in either bullpen, so it looks like Coach Foy for the Knights, Coach Churchill for the Pirates, keeping the faith with their pitchers.
Howard lifts one, and running in is Rochelle for the first out.
Martinez took off there on 2-2 as well. I wonder if the swing hit and run was pre-planned, takes off back to first with the fly out. Martinez has some solid speed, 4 stolen bases on the season for the sophomore second baseman.
First pitch to Kozinski is in there for strike one. Kozinski with those 2 RBIs in the third. And she lifts one into center field. And Rochelle has been busy today. She grabs the second out now. And once again, you saw that motion from Martinez over at first.
Number 7 on the bridge.
Andrea Perez's third time up. She was walked in the second and lined out to short in the third. Pitch is high. 2-0.
See Martinez's approach when she's tagging up, or at least, kind of getting a lead off of first, kind of fakes out taking off for second and then kind of scurries back to first.
The 2-0 to Perez, and she lifts one, and not making the diving play is Conklin, and rounding third is Martinez, and she will score. Andrea Perez picking up her 150th career hit there, and also driving in the RBI to put the Pirates ahead.
Milestones all around. The 150th hit for Perez, her 20th RBI of the season's a 2-bagger, and when you talk about Martinez as well, that's where you reap the benefits of the added aggression on the base path. She takes off on that swing, and I think that largely in part is the reason why she came around to score. Got to assume on swing, if she takes off, she probably has to pump the brakes at third. Comes around to score, gives the Pirates the 3-2 lead.
Good job there by Perez to drive in the run and put the Pirates ahead. Next now lifting one up to Rochelle for the third out. 1 run in for the Pirates. Perez picking up her 150th career hit, putting them ahead, heading into the top of the 6th here on the Pirate Sports Network. The Seton Hall Pirates now ahead 3-2, and putting themselves on the board early was Stone for the FDU Knights. You see with that hit, but the Pirates have been able to answer back. We just saw that in the last inning, Ross. Again, what do you make of this game? It's been back and forth between both teams.
I think it's the fact that both teams realize how close this game is, that it's for the taking for either side. I think now the fact that you have Seton Hall now getting the tie-breaking run in this bottom of the 5th, especially with the added aggression. We talked about Martinez applying the pressure on the base paths, the reason she came in to score with her speed. But now if you're FDU, like you talked about, Christian, it's still only a 1-run game for you. It's only a 1-run deficit for you. So just as fast as Seton Hall came back from their prior deficit, came around to tie it, and now have the lead, that's how quick with the snap of a finger FDU could put themselves in the same exact position.
A back-and-forth game it has been. Dupuis coming back into the circle, trying to do her thing for the Pirates. It's the first pitch in there to Ayala. So, strike. Or excuse me, a ball just outside. I misread that on the outside corner.
It's crazy, too, because I think that's why Dupuis, even in her great starts, her great outings, where the walk total is a little high for her liking, is because so many of her pitches dot the corners where she may not get a call here or there. Now, she does have some ugly misses sometimes. She'll miss way low, way outside, but a lot of the times it's her looking for that dot of a pitch that just paints an outside corner or an inside corner, and she may not get that call every time, and that gets her in these hitter counts.
The 2-1 to Ayala. It's just on that outside corner for strike 2, and a little bit of announcer jinx maybe there by Ross, working that outside corner.
Not my first time.
Dupuis did just that. The 2-2 to Ayala. She dribbles one over to Martinez, who scoops and throws over to DeMarco for out number 1.
Great route by Martinez there. The way that was trickling kind of closer to the second base side of the right side of the infield, I wonder if, she may have originally thought she would have to backhand that. We saw that the play with Perez the inning prior, where, you may make the nice scoop, but you're not going to have time to transfer, get the throw in time. Martinez able to get out in front of it on her forehand side and make the easy throw for the first out.
And coming in for Valdez now is a sophomore, Zoe Milanopoulos, the Middle Tennessee transfer. At Middle Tennessee, she played in 18 games while making 16 starts. She recorded a 200 batting average and a 319 on-base percentage. And the first pitch to her is low for ball 1.
One of the twin sisters on this FDU team, her twin sister Demetra.
And they both made the transfer from Middle Tennessee. Milanopoulos takes ball 2. Two-0. Just low, ball 3. Milanopoulos on the season, batting .221, a .299 on base percentage, and a .338 slugging. The 3-0. It's right down the middle for strike 1.
Still no movement in the Pirates bullpen.
Three-one fouled back.
No movement in the FDU bullpen for that matter as well.
Three-two to Milanopoulos. She drives one over. Brennan tracking it and making the grab for out number 2.
Great route there by Brennan with a fairly easy grab. Now you're at the top of this FDU lineup. You're 4 outs away. Granted, you keep the lead here. Definitely, if you're a Pirates fan, hope I didn't give you the announcer's jinx on that one. But, objectively, 4 outs away. You do have the slap-hitting approach of Rochelle up to bat, so you got to worry about, however possible way. If she were to get on base, then you're worrying about Hogan and then Stone, who we kind of sung her praises with the Prime Performer of the Week for the NEC. She's guaranteed up to bat either way. You just don't want her up with people on base, pretty much is what I'm trying to say.
Rochelle grounding it over to Perez, who makes the play for out number 3. And the Pirates keep the lead here, heading into the bottom half of the 6th, 3-2, here on the Pirates Sports Network. Three-two is your score now in the bottom of the 6th. Pirates trying to put the lead a little bit further now, as it's their chance to take some swings. Sierra Albright staying into the circle for FDU. Olivia Chavez's first pitch is fouled off.
And now, similar to what we were saying with the Knights, Christian, I mean, you got Chavez, the 9-hitter, who does have, his look solid with her approach at the plate today. And then you turn the corner yourself to that Benitez, Brennan, DeMarco trio that we've been singing their praises as well throughout this game as well. So just kind of keeping that pressure applied, even though you have that lead. It's only a 1-run lead. You want to build yourself some insurance.
1-1 for Chavez. She swings one right through the gap of the infield for a single. Chavez's second hit on the day. She's done her job as a freshman, as we mentioned throughout the course of this game. Stepping up when it matters is the job of a lot of freshmen when they're on a team, and she's done that so.
Yeah, being 2 for 3, not only as a freshman on the scene, but kind of a newcomer to the starting lineup as a whole. And, I mean, we kind of saw it even with FDU. Zoe Valdez in that 9th slot, drawing the walk, then getting hit by the pitch, the at-bat after. I mean, it kind of seems like you kind of throw out
Benitez. A little bit of a late swing there and lifts one high, and Stone making the play across the infield for out number 1.
You throw out, kind of throw out the window the fact that they're 9-hitters. You just look at it as basically, yeah, you have your more valued hitters atop both lineups. We've been talking about how pivotal, how dynamic the Pirates 1-2-3 is in specific, but even Chavez, who is a 9-hitter, is set up nicely for that turn of the lineup, as we've seen in this inning too.
Brennan back up for Seton Hall. The 0-1 for her. Just swung on and letting it bounce is Ayala. She makes the play over at second. Smart play there by Ayala to not run in on the ball and make a mistake. Gets a little bit of a bounce and tossing it right over to Hogan.
And she gets the lead runner in Chavez too. I think there was obviously that hesitation on Chavez's part, but you can't blame her because the last thing you want to do is get doubled up if Ayala does go and grab that off the fly. So Brennan's now out of the game. Figliolino on base, pinch running. But yeah, going back to that play from Ayala, it's just kind of a high IQ play. You're getting the lead runner either way. You may have had a shot if Chavez was still taking off for second regardless, but you get the lead runner either way, you'll be happy with that play if you're FDU.
The second pitch to Marco is lifted high. Making the play on his Hogan, waving off Ayala. 1 hit, no runs for the Pirates as they look to close things out as we head into the top of the 7th here on the Pirate Sports Network. The Pirates looking to close things out here in the top of the 7th. Carissa Dupuis in the circle for the Pirates. FDU looking to take a strike back at Seton Hall now.
And I think, like we've been saying too, Christian, this is someone in Dupuis who has multiple complete games under her belt, as recent as her most recent start out in Villanova. You bring her in with the 3 innings of a workload, the save opportunity, albeit against the 2-3-4, the heart of this FDU lineup. So she got her work cut out for her, but if we've seen the last 2 innings transpire the way that they did, Pierre Dupuis just don't change that approach whatsoever.
The 0-1 to Hogan is grounded over to Perez, making the play, and the throw is away from first, and Hogan is safe.
Just another tough play for Perez. It's just got to be a luck aspect, because these are nice scoops she's making. That the throw was a little off, but the throw wasn't being made. The play wasn't being made either way.
That'll bring up Aiden Stone. That RBI double back in the third. First pitch hers is on that outside corner, just a little bit outside for ball 1. Second pitch right down the middle. The 1-1 to Stone. It's a little bit high. The throw to second and is out. Andrea Perez making the tag on Brianna Hogan. And the FDU coaches want a second look. The throw was a bit off, but it'd be an amazing play if Perez is able to make that tag. Ross, what did you see?
Yeah, I mean, if Perez did make this tag, that's unbelievable. And it does look like, let's see the replay here.
From our vantage point, it's just out of the frame there. It looks like she makes the tag, but
I'll say this. Either way, you brought up the throw was off. The fact that they just confirmed did they confirm it or are they going to review?
pretty sure they're going to review.
They are going to review.
They are going to review.
So my mistake. But yeah, on the throw wasn't the greatest. The fact that this is even a close play, let alone the call on the field being out, is remarkable on Perez's part. And it was out of the frame, but it did look like it's all a matter of, Hogan's, her head or back, because it definitely looked like an upper body tag. As far as that was off the base. And you got to always remember, too, the call on the field, unless it's decisive, will normally be kept. They'll just stay with the call on the field.
Yes, we wait. I mean, it would be a very athletic and a beautiful tag by Perez, and to be.
And an insanely important play, too. It's a difference between a runner in scoring position, nobody out, or nobody on and 1 out.
Yeah, and like you said, Ross, it would limit Stone, the leader in RBIs in this team, and to give you that first out. And look at the game so far. Stone is 1 for 3 with that RBI double. Ayala had that sac fly. And as for the Pirates, Kaczynski had the 2-run single. DeMarco's been 1 for 4 with a double and a run.
And if you're FDU, I mean, you have to plead the case either way at this point in the game. It's not even like it's a formal challenge system. Let's see here.
And from this angle, I mean, it looks as though she may have tagged her there on her leg. But from what I'm looking at, it seems like in the frame it looks like she's tagging her, but she may have just missed by a hair. Again, we're still waiting this call from the umpires, taking a long, lengthy look at it, just like we are.
I'm just trying to still get over the fact that Perez is able to lunge on the outside of her body with how high and off that throw was. You gotta think too, because I think we got a verdict here.
We do have a decision coming out now. And the call stands. What a beautiful play there by Perez to get that first out at the top of the 7th. saving a runner in scoring position. I mean, Ross, I kind of see you look you look shocked.
Yeah.
You're like, man.
I just can't believe that play was made.
Yeah.
I'm in awe. Now I'm also starting to think, too, it's like you have nobody out. You get your leadoff runner on. Your best hitter's at the dish. Is that a spot where you want to be uber aggressive? In hindsight, I mean, look, obviously, you know, if she gets the safe stolen base, we're not thinking twice about it. But the risk to reward potential there. Now, all of a sudden, somebody in Stone who's coming off multiple homers in her last series, one swing of the bat from her could have, you know, given FDU the go-ahead run. Now in that situation, it's only an equalizer.
2-2 now for Stone. Fouls one to the right side again. I get deja vu every time I say that. One out, 2-2. Stone lifts one. Making the play on it is Benitez for out number 2. 1 out away are the Pirates from taking game 1. And with a chance to try to notch things up, Amanda Japinka stepping back into the box. First pitch to Japinka, just on that outside corner. Dupuis doing a great job of working it. Strike 1.
She's been locating that low and outside pitch perfectly to this point. That pitch was no different.
The 0-1. Just low. The 1-1 to Japinka. It's just outside, ball 2. The 2-1. It's just outside, ball 3.
Japinka 0-2 on the day with the walk in her first plate appearance and serving as the tying run for FDU.
And ball 4 to Japinka. That puts a runner on now for the Knights. Conklin stepping back in. She was walked in the 5th.
So now you go back to that stolen base attempt from Holgan. This would be first and second, 1 away. Obviously, butterfly effect, who knows, change of approach, yada yada. Looks like we have a pinch hitter here.
Pinch runner.
Pinch runner. But I think there's a time and place for that aggressiveness. You got to think the risk that comes with the potential for the reward.
The first pitch to Conklin is in the turf and advancing over to second.
It's back-to-back outside rollers for Dupuis. Kind of uncharacteristic of her and in this big of a spot as well.
Advancing over to second on that was Finley Carringer, the junior from Sammamish, Washington. Pitches outside. Again to Conklin. Dupuis deals. Conklin lifts one right back at Dupuis. Perez unable to make the play on it. Speed there shown from Conklin. Runners on the corners now.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate if you're the Pirates. I mean, it's instinctual for Dupuis to get in front of that. I mean, actually, that pretty much saved the run. Come to think of it now, at how far left Martinez was, that gets through. That's a tying run for FDU. So I was originally going to say it was kind of the disappointing part for the Pirates was that Dupuy instinctually got out in front of it, but even despite not making the play, she still saved that run. So runners on the corners, 2 away here.
The 1-0 is past her, and trying to get home is Carringer, and she is in there and
Going
plays. A little bit of confusion there by the Pirates. Going 3 is Conklin. Carringer's in there for a run. Conklin is safe over at third.
You can't have that happen.
A costly mistake there for Seton Hall. Tying this game up 3-3. I mean, they do still have that chance to answer in the bottom of the 7th. But again, with 2 outs on the board, a mistake like that is not something you want to come across.
I think there's just so many, these primal situations are so few and far between. You have this pivotal lead, and a lot of it due to the fact that you're playing, good, clean, fundamentally sound softball, and then you let the tying run come in to score. Better yet, or worse yet, you had the runner on first come all the way to third. Not only on the miscue, but kind of the out of syncness and not realizing that Conklin was taken off all the way to the other corner.
Pitch is low for Sullivan. It's ball 3.
So now even one of those infield singles that we have seen a bunch today could bring Conklin into score.
Pitch to Sullivan is outside, ball 4. Runners on the corners again for the Knights. Spataco will step in. The conversation in the circle again. Talking about approach, how do you attack Spataco here, who had that double back in the 4th.
I mean, this game's just all about fundamentals, right, Christian? And, all it takes is one miscue could be the difference between a win or a loss, and albeit still a tie here, but with FDU.
First pitch to Spataco is low, and walking over to second, Sullivan.
She walked it with ease. It was even like she was trotting in there, and Dupuy even noticed at one point, but O'Sullivan was close enough.
Well, no point to make the little throw, just threaten it. Don't want to, have an uncostly error. So smart there by Dupuy not to make the throw. 2-0 for Spataco. Pitches in there for a strike. Dupuy having to work her way back in the counts these last 2 at-bats. Spataco waits the 2-1. It's low for ball 3. The 3-1 is low, and ball 4. Bases juiced now for Ayala stepping in.
It's just such a strange dynamic for someone in Dupuy who was doing such a great job of commanding the zone to her liking, to her favor, and now you're seeing her every other pitch seemingly just rolling it to the plate. It's bizarre.
It's definitely unlike her. Maybe a little bit of frustration settling in. First pitch to Ayala. Maybe another announcer's jinx from Ross in the turf for ball 1.
This would probably be my worst one if that's the case.
And Dupuy seems as though there would be a change. Schumann coming back into the game. for Seton Hall. I've never seen something like this happen before, Ross.
Yeah, I'm
Dupuis exiting.
I'm perplexed to say the least.
Yeah, Dupuis exiting and Schumann coming back in.
But now,
Now that makes you think when we talked to Coach earlier in the game, maybe her approach was go 2-2, 2-2 for each game. Maybe this is why Schumann's back in. But
you
again,
mean Schumann in particular, rather than making the switch?
yeah, like maybe go Schumann, Dupuis, and then the next game, whatever two pitchers there are, use those. And maybe this is why you're going back to Schumann now.
I think the thing that loses me more than anything, and I'm not going to speculate, but the fact that Dupuis had a pitch thrown in this at-bat and then was taken out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the fact that
Yeah.
Angie Churchill didn't have her mindset, you know, if this runner gets on or
Yeah.
this happens, that happens, one more out, etc. Like, Dupuis had started this at-bat and then got taken out.
Yeah.
She wasn't favoring her arm or anything, so I don't think it's an injury thing, but
No. Nothing of the sorts there.
definitely not.
Well, the 1-0 now for Schumann. Beautiful pitch there, in for a strike.
It's crazy, too, even not only the pitch, but you look at the delivery as well. You kind of see Schumann stop short, not really follow through on the delivery, is how wicked that pitch is.
The 1-1. Inside, ball 2. You know what? Something like this, Ross, makes you think, too, should have Schumann came out back early in that game. But her pitch is in there again for strike 2. Beautiful off speed from Schumann. Confusing Ayala. Knotting up this count 2 apiece. Schumann looking to stop the bleeding. She goes back to that same pitch, and it's low for ball 3. Count is full. Count's full. Schumann gets a sign. She deals. And a grounder over to Janex, who makes the tag at third, and that'll do it. Bases left loaded for Ayala as we head to the bottom of the 7th as the Pirates try to walk things off 3-3 here on the Pirate Sports Network. Bottom of the 7th, 3-3. Pirates looking to close out game 1. And stepping into the circle for FDU, Mary Jane Lemon, the junior from Coachella, California. And Ross, something we just talked about during that break, is we found the answer to maybe some of the viewers' confusion, maybe to help our confusion out to that pitching change.
Yeah, so apparently in softball, starting players can be removed and brought back into the game one time. It also says substitute player who is removed from the game cannot return, so somebody who may come in as a pinch hitter and stays. But starting players, the starting 9, as well as the starting pitcher in this situation, Schumann, was removed and was able to come back into the game per NCAA rules.
The second pitch from Lemond Martinez is in there for a strike. Count was knotted up 1-1. Martinez fouls one up behind the plate. And I kind of flinched there. I thought it was going to be right on top of us. I was waiting for it to hit the to hit the little seal, the roof.
I was bracing either the roof or that kaboom off the bleachers.
Yeah. 1-2 for Martinez. Pitch is inside.
You see Lamone favoring the inside part of the zone here, at least to the leadoff Martinez.
It'll be Martinez. After Martinez, it'll be Howard and Kaczynski. Martinez swings, lifts one over to second for the first out. Brianna Holgan making the grab. Aaron Howard gets a chance.
If you're Howard, if you could get on for Kaczynski, who's the source of 2 of the Pirates' 3 RBIs today and has been one of the more pivotal hitters for the Pirates all season. But it all starts with Howard or whoever may have to get on base, even for Martinez, who, suffered the out on the pop fly, but just getting a runner on and, sparking some sort of offensive momentum.
1-0 to Howard. Is in there. It's just inside, ball 2. Like you said, Ross, Lemond working that inside part of the plate. This season, Lemond has a 2-4 record in 17 appearances with 6 games started. This pitch there is just on that inside corner for strike 1. Howard 0 for 3 today. Flied out, lined out, and flied out in the 5th. That was a tongue twister. The 2-1. Grounded over to Ayala, who makes the backhanded play, and the scoop by Stone at first for the second out. Bringing up Leah Kaczynski for Seton Hall.
Yeah, heck of a play by Stone there. Scooping it off the bounce. I mean, the throw, just short of Stone and able to get out in front of it, make the scoop 2 away here. And more importantly, keeping the base paths empty.
First pitch to Kaczynski is a ball. Again, all the way back in the 3rd, Kaczynski delivered for Seton Hall. The 2 RBIs. The 1-0 to her, swung on and lifted high. Looking back and over the wall, Leah Kaczynski does it. She walks it off for the Pirates. 4-3 is game 1. What a drive by Leah Kaczynski.
Unbelievable. Leah Kaczynski wills the Pirates to win here, puts the cape on her back. 3 of the 4 RBIs on the day. The 3rd one, the most theatric of the 3. And the walk-off in style, a thriller here for the first of 2 here at Mike Shepard Sr.
Kaczynski showing up back in that 3rd, driving into 2 runs, and she caps off game 1 here with a walk-off home run to do it for Seton Hall. And oh man, grab your popcorn for game 2, Ross, because I'm sure excited.
If it's anything like this one, you are spot on, Christian. This was a heck of a game. The back and forth. You look at just the box score. The 3rd inning had runs on both halves. The 4th and 5th, they traded runs, and in that 7th inning, a little bit of a scare for the Pirates. Tops half of the 7th, but bottom half of this 7th inning, Leah Kaczynski with the dagger.
And you saw Conklin just looking at it, and she knew it was gone. Kaczynski doing her thing and taking game 1 for the Pirates. And we'll take a short break, but we will be back for game 2. Pirates taking game 1, 4-3 over FDU. But hold tight, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back for game 2 a little bit later on here on the Pirate Sports Network.